They laughed at her, called her weak, too fragile to survive boot camp. But when the general saw the tattoo carved into her shoulder, the entire base fell silent. What was Emma Robert hiding beneath that jacket? And why did it shake the highest ranks of the army? The bus rattled to a stop on the cracked pavement of Fort Rucker's training ground. The brakes screeched like a warning, as if announcing the end of ordinary life. Dust rose in the air, curling around the boots of the recruits as they stepped down one by one. Emma Robert clutched her duffel tight against her chest. At 18, her face still carried the softness of youth, but her eyes had something sharper, something that didn't match the timid frame of her body. The drill sergeants were already there, stone-faced, arms crossed, their voices ready to shred through the morning air. "Line up, move, move!" Emma stumbled into formation, heart hammering. She felt the weight of stairs before a word was spoken. A boy to her left muttered to his friend just loud enough for her to hear. "She won't last a week." It wasn't the first time she'd heard it. She had heard it whispered in her small town, at the recruiting office, even at her own kitchen table when her mother thought she was asleep. Too fragile, too quiet, too soft. The sergeant stopped in front of her. His eyes scanned her like a puzzle piece that didn't belong. "You name?" "Private Roberts, sir." Her voice cracked. He smirked. "You look like a cheerleader who got lost. Think you can handle this?" "Yes, sir." The chuckles rolled down the line, sticking to her skin like burrs. That night, lying in the barracks, Emma couldn't sleep. She pressed her hand against her shoulder, feeling the faint outline of the ink hidden beneath her shirt. The tattoo was more than decoration. It was her father's. It was legacy. It was a vow she whispered again in the dark. "I'll make you proud, Dad." But outside her bunk, laughter lingered in the air, and morning would bring her first real test. The sergeant announces a 5-mile run in full gear. Emma grips her boots, knowing tomorrow could be the day she breaks or begins. The whistle pierced the morning. 5 miles, full gear, no excuses. The stronger recruits surged forward, their boots pounding like drums. Emma's legs dragged. Every breath seared her chest, every strap of her pack dug into her shoulders. Dust coated her throat. "Pick it up, Robert," someone jeered from behind. Another shouted, "Don't pass out, we don't want to carry you." The insults wrapped around her like barbed wire. She could taste defeat, bitter and sharp, but she repeated the only words that kept her moving. One step. One more. Her calves screamed, her vision blurred, but she crossed the line. Last but standing, she caught the eye of a sergeant. He lingered on her longer than the others. She couldn't tell if it was disappointment or something else. That night, cleaning the barracks floor, she overheard whispers. Why is she always wearing that jacket? Even in this heat? Bet she's hiding something. A scar, maybe? Or something worse. Emma's fist tightened on the scrub brush. She wanted to shout the truth. But the tattoo wasn't theirs to mock. It was hers. When she lay in bed, she touched her shoulder again. The ink burned, not from the heat but from memory. Her father's unit insignia, the man who never came home. The laughter still stung. The whispers still spread. But she whispered back into the dark, "I won't quit, not now. Not ever." A recruit mutters to his bunkmate, "One of these days we're pulling that jacket off her ourselves. I want to see what she's hiding." By July, the sun punished them daily. Sweat drenched every back. Sleeves rolled up. Collars loosened. Everyone stripped down when they could. Everyone except Emma. Her jacket clung to her like armor. And like all armor, it drew fire. "You allergic to sunlight, Robert?" one recruit sneered. "Or hiding a boyfriend's name under there?" The laughter hit harder than the drills, but the jacket was more than fabric. It was a shield. One blistering afternoon, the sergeant's eyes narrowed. "Robert, why the hell are you still wearing that?" Her throat tightened. "Sir, I'm fine, sir. That wasn't the question." "Take it off." Every recruit froze. Some grinned. Others leaned forward, hungry for the reveal. Her hands trembled on the zipper. She wanted to lie, to run. But the sergeant's stare was immovable. The jacket slid from her shoulders. Gasps rippled down the line. The tattoo glared in the sunlight. Bold, sharp, unmistakable. The insignia of the 101st Airborne Division. The Screaming Eagles. No one laughed. Not this time. That night in the barracks, the whispers change. Not mocking anymore, but hungry, afraid, and curious. And in the silence, Emma realizes the secret is out. Word spread fast. The girl with the tattoo. That week, the camp prepared for inspection. A general was coming. Uniforms pressed, boots polished, bunks aligned like iron. Emma stood in formation, her tattoo now half visible beneath the edge of her short sleeve. The whispers hadn't stopped. They only sharpened, then silence. Boots struck pavement. The general arrived. He walked down the line, eyes like steel, catching every flaw. When he stopped in front of Emma, the air turned heavy. His gaze dropped to her shoulder. "Recruit Robert," he said, voice low. "Where did you get that?" Her heart slammed against her ribs. "Sir, it's mine, sir. Do you know what it means?"
"Yes, sir."
"I do." The general studied her for a long moment. Then his eyes softened. "Your father? He was one of us, wasn't he?" Her breath caught.
"Yes, sir."
"Captain Daniel Robert," a flicker of recognition. The general's jaw tightened. "He was a damn fine soldier. Don't dishonor what you carry." "Yes, sir." He moved on. But the field was never the same. That night, a recruit whispers across the barracks, "If the general knew her father, then who exactly is Emma Robert?" The barracks changed. No more mocking laughter. Now it was questions. Heavy, respectful but unrelenting. "Miller, was your dad really with the Screaming Eagles? What was he like?" Emma sat on her bunk, her fingers tracing the lines of the tattoo beneath her sleeve. She could deflect, hide again, but the general's words echoed. "It's not just ink. It's a promise." She lifted her head. "Yeah, my father was Captain Daniel Robert. He believed in this uniform with everything he had. He told me once, courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about moving forward, afraid." The barracks fell silent. No laughter, no sneers. Only listening. For the first time, Emma wasn't a shadow at the end of the table. She was a voice, and every ear bent toward her. The final 48-hour field operation begins at dawn. Every recruit fears failure. But when the sergeants say, "Robert, you take point," Emma realizes the last test won't just be about her. It will be about all of them. The last field exercise broke recruits like glass. Mud, rivers, heat, exhaustion. 48 hours, no sleep. No excuses, Emma took point. Not because she demanded it, but because they trusted her. At the river crossing, someone froze mid-step. "I can't." Emma steadied him. "One step at a time, look at me. You've got this." And they followed. Every one of them. By the final mile, their faces were streaked with dirt, their bodies wrecked. Emma's own legs trembled like shattered wood. But she kept going, whispering the same vow into the dust. "I won't quit. Not now, not ever." The whistle blew. It was over. Sergeant Diaz stepped forward. His eyes found Emma. "You did good, Robert." "Damn good." At graduation, her name echoed across the parade ground. The general's voice was steady. "Private Emma Robert, you have completed your training with distinction." Applause broke like thunder. Recruits who once laughed now clapped her on the back. Later, at sunset, Emma sat at the edge of the field. She pressed her palm to her tattoo. The broken watch in her pocket ticked faintly, a reminder of her father. "You'd be proud, Dad," she whispered. The dusty road stretched ahead. She stood walking toward it, no longer ridiculed, no longer hidden, but carrying a torch that would never go out. Beyond the parade ground, a shadow of future wars loomed. Emma knew this was just the beginning. The parade ground emptied. Families embraced their sons and daughters, laughter cutting through the heavy air of weeks gone by. Emma Robert stood a little apart, her uniform crisp, her boots polished, her shoulders straighter than they had ever been. Her mother had not come. She had sent a letter instead, folded carefully into Emma's empty wallet. Inside were only a few words written in shaky handwriting. "Your father would be proud." Emma traced the words with her finger before slipping the wallet back into her pocket. It was all she needed. As evening settled, she walked alone to the edge of the base. The gates loomed ahead, tall iron bars silhouetted against the burning sky. Beyond them stretched a dusty road, endless and uncertain. The kind of road her father had walked before her. Her broken watch ticked faintly inside her hand. The glass was cracked, the hands frozen at the hour her father's unit had been ambushed. She carried it not for time but for memory. The air grew still. A shadow moved at the gate. A figure waited, an officer with a folder tucked under his arm. His uniform bore the same insignia as the tattoo on her shoulder. "Private Robert," he called, voice calm but edged with weight. "You're requested at headquarters now." Emma's breath caught. Headquarters? She had just graduated. No recruit was summoned there unless something was coming. Something bigger than drills, bigger than boot camp. She touched the tattoo through her sleeve, her chest tightening. The dusty road no longer looked like freedom. It looked like the beginning of another trial. She stepped forward, boots crunching against gravel, the gate yawning open before her.